Hello there, boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. So today I have another episode of getting early picks with the AWP right here on DE Inferno. This is basically like an entry frag tutorial for AWPing, so I would say let's get it going for the T side. As I said multiple times before, the most important thing that you want to consider is your spawn. If you're this guy right here, or this guy right here, probably more this guy, you got the one of the best possible spawns. And if you got one of the best spawns, this is the only time when you want to go for an AWP pick, or better, an early AWP pick. So what you do is you just run up straight right here with your knife out, and as soon as you're reaching kind of this shadow, you want to kind of switch to your AWP, preferably with jumping or whatever you're doing, and just post up like this. If you got the best spawn, you'll always be here first, before the enemy CT will be there, so you just have to post up right here, and then just fire. Of course, sometimes you also can just so strafe around on this part and just try to pick them from the box. However, I think this takes longer, so just posting up like this usually will give you the time advantage. So just post up and wait for any CT to cross right here. Now next up, another pick that we can do. Same thing again, we're just kind of running up middle right here, but then we're going into these apps, just up right here. And then a thing that you can do is if you're watching the apps through this window, or right here on balcony or this window, very often CTs might actually kind of just post up right here or there. So if you're just positioning yourself in this spot right here, you can also just crouch to get back to cover. You might be able to catch someone off guard. Like, this works sometimes, not all the time, but it's usually the best early pick you can get for second mid-ish, because other than that you can just kind of run up straight right here. However, this is not very useful. I will talk about that on the CT side. Same goes for just trying to get a pick right here. Usually doesn't work. This can sometimes work if you just kind of rush around second mid and post up like right here. If like the CTs are getting, well, impatient and stuff like that, but usually you also got a guy from balcony and they will shoot you in the back, so that's not something that I would recommend. So back to spawn. Of course, the last thing that we can do if we just run out right here is to peek banana. There are two ways to peek banana. The first one would just be kind of posting up like right here and waiting for the guy to peek here. This is more of a passive angle, because you as well as the CT guy will basically need the same amount of time to get to your position. Obviously you'll be here first if you're just being passive, and then the guy will run into your crosshair and you can shoot at him. However, if you want to be more aggressive, you will have to kind of run up right here, or even just kind of try to look through right here. So banana's really kind of a hit and miss thing, because there are kind of three spots that you can watch. So the first is the passive one right here. The next one is just the aggressive one, where you kind of post up right here and try to get the guy. But of course, if he has been passive right here, he will be able to get you usually first. And of course, the last thing is just kind of in between the pillars and trying to get a pick like this. And this is basically, or better said, these are the early T-spawn picks that I would recommend to you guys. But now let's talk about the CT side. So here we are on the CT side. We kind of messed up our spawn right here, but of course usually you spawn in somewhat of a U shape around here. And of course you also got best spawns like this one and this one right here. So what I would recommend for you guys, if you're the guy right here and you want to push or peek mid, is of course just run out with your knife, be as fast as possible. If you're good at B-hopping and very reliable, you can do that as well. But you actually never want to take this angle or this peak, because you'll always be slower even with the best spawn. So what you should do instead, you either could just like smoke it off right here, but that's what we're going to talk about now, because the other thing that you can do is you kind of just jump in right here and then you post up like this, and then you wait for T's to push out or be impatient, stuff like that. And if you know, like after 5 seconds or so no one is coming, you can basically retreat to this side and then just hold this angle. And it's basically going like this because you can't really be aggressive as a CT in mid, at least not if the other AWP right here is somewhat decent. So you just kind of have to play a passive angles game. Just wait right here, then fall back to right here. Next up you kind of fall back to right here. So you like hold this angle, you're kind of an off angle because you can still get this guy. Not recommending this one because you're kind of cornering yourself, but then again, the enemies won't be able to see you and expect you. This is kind of a surprise angle. Of course, those are not early picks. That's just a normal thing how you want to play an AWP in Inferno. Just like fall back with every angle, and then you fall back to this one or to this one, and just hold it and stuff like that. Or maybe behind this thing. But yeah, that's not really like, there's no real early pick for Inferno in mid. Just like holding the angle passively like this, and then waiting and switching to this one, then just fall back and keep falling back, especially if you got no teammates right here to back you up. That's the thing that you want to do. However, let's say you got a good mate and he kind of threw over the smoke, or you did just like throw it right here, or a flash or whatever, kind of bad, but still works. And you jump over here. A thing that you can do very successfully is if you make it past this spot without them like shooting you right here, which very often can happen. So it's once again kind of a hit and miss thing. If you make it past right here and you kind of just jump down and you post up like this, you can get early picks, and this is very, very uncommon, and again it heavily depends on the spawn that you have. And you gotta listen if someone's jumping up right here and going into balcony, because they can easily backstab you. But you can just kind of post up right here and then again wait like 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, then no one's coming, and you just kind of retreat and fall back and play balcony right here. Now let's talk about B side. Just fly over here. So back in spawn, let's say we got the best B spawn. I already talked about this on the T side. It's kind of the best, or well, a similar thing you could say. So also better way is if you kind of go through here instead of all around the well and just kind of jump through this window. And of course you want to cut as many corners as possible in order to be as fast as possible. So as soon as you're reaching this spot right here, of course if you're holding in a passive angle, you can just hold this one, because you're kind of in a surprise spot. They should not expect you to be here if they're pushing up slowly or also doing a rush, but of course you need a teammate to back you up, because the way from here to there or to there is quite long. So what you would usually do if you want to get an early pick is you kind of jump around and then again you post up like this or like this. There's basically two spots. You can do this one, which is not recommended from my point of view because you do not see the guys behind the pillars, but just having this one is very useful. You still don't see these guys, but as soon as they're pushing out, you'll be able to see them before they are able to see you. And that's like the thing that I said also on T side. You can be passive right here and wait for them to run in, or you can be aggressive right here and try to peek them. Same as I said on T side back here, you can also just be passive from right there, or you run up to right here and be aggressive. And the timing right here is about the same, so if you both got the best spawns, it really comes down to what kind of angle were you playing. Were you playing the passive one or the aggressive one? And of course you never know before you actually try it out. So it's kind of a, once again, hit and miss thing. And you really have to kind of consider, like, try a couple of rounds, see if the other guy right here is better or worse. Same goes for the T player right there. And this will basically determine how effective you will be able to pick. Of course, moving up like this is hell of stupid, so don't do that. You always want to stay behind cover, and even if you're behind right here, if you got multiple guys like behind the pillars that are pushing out all together, you're kind of fucked in the spot. So you always want to have a guy, preferably with an M4 right here, who's backing you off right here and just spraying so you can retreat easily. But yeah, I think that's already pretty much about it. Inferno is pretty straightforward, especially since B only got one real entrance, and towards A, there's also, like, you got the early picks in mid that you can do. Again, aggressive for T and passive for CT. And then, once again, passive for T right here and aggressive for CT right there. But this probably already sums it up. Like, Inferno is really kind of simple, since it's not allowing you to have so many, well, it has many angles when you're clearing sites, but for early picks, just straight lines like this, there's not much to talk about. So yeah, I think I'm rambling on. I hope you enjoyed this little video about Inferno. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. But I think it's for now, and luckySkillFaker out.